Hello, we're going to walk you through real quick how to do our forms and fill out our forms on our autoresponder. First, go into the autoresponder. You're going to go right to lead management. Once you're in lead management, you're going to see a list of people come up. As soon as the people come up, you're going to notice that there's a little bit of a difference in tint between the leads. Some of these have a little darker white tint to them, and there's a lighter white tint. Basically, the white ones are the ones that have not been contacted yet, but honestly, that's not very important either. As you go through here, you're going to see you've got an ad name, you've got the phone number, you're going to see the last message that was back and forth, and you're going to see a bunch of buttons on the side here. Each one of these buttons, you'll be able to assign this campaign, which you're not going to do. You're going to have a ad lead property right here. You're going to have a link to the actual ad that they responded to, and you're going to have a quick note section. You also have 3 buttons below that. You have the ability to email if there's an email associated with this contact. You're going to be able to text, and you're also going to be able to make a call. You're not going to be making calls directly from this page. What you're going to do is you're going to go in, and if you click on right here where it shows the ad name, as soon as you click on that, it's going to open up a page, a lead detail page. As you fill the information out, you'll be able to fill out the first name, last name. There's a section here for notes. There's a section right here so you can see what text messages or phone calls have come through. As you scroll down, there's a calendar. As you fill out information about these customers, you're going to go in and schedule a call after you're finished, and schedule that call with us so that we know that we have to make a follow-up call for a sale. You're going to see 4 buttons up here. Again, the same buttons that you saw on the other page. If you click on the home page, the picture of a house, you see it says no properties found. What you want to do is find out what the address of this property is if you possibly can. So go to the next button next to that, and there's a little lead ad. You click on that and you click on the ad, it's going to pull up the actual house that was ran in the ad. And you can click on the actual ad and pull it up if it's still available. And you can look and see if there's any information here in regards to an address. This one doesn't have one. You can hit the show contact information. As you see, this is actually a realtor, so this probably wouldn't be one that you would actually be following up with. If it's a realtor, put a note that it's a realtor and just skip on to the next one. We'll deal with realtors. I really don't want you having to deal with realtors. So if you have something that says MVP Realty Associates, something that refers to a real estate agency or a real estate agent, just skip that one. But for the example, I'm just going to go ahead and stay on this one. Since there was no name or address for the property, just go ahead and click in here, add property, just name it anything right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, it doesn't really matter. Click something on here, we can always change it later. Hit save. And now you're on the lead questionnaire. This is where you're going to put most of your information. As you start to scroll down, you're going to notice that you can read back on any voicemails that were left or text messages. So get yourself familiar with the conversation that went on. Scroll down and you're going to see a dialogue. Try to memorize this dialogue if you can, so it doesn't sound like you're just reading it. Say, hi, my name is, and you responded to our text message, because as you saw up front, it was a text message about selling your home, rent to buy. Where it says I'm an investor, you can say I work with investors and I'd like to make you an offer. But we buy homes a couple different ways. We need some specific information about your home so we can make an offer that meets your needs as the homeowner and still makes sense to us. So I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions and let them reply. As you go through, there's some status here. You don't need to deal with that right now. You go right into the lead contact information. And you ask them the questions. First name, last name, the address, city, and go all the way through. If they actually live at the property, you can copy the home address so you don't have to rewrite this information. If they don't live at the home, this is where their actual address is, where they live now. This is the actual property that we're dealing with. You have some questions here. You can actually apply the changes to the home, or you can change things back and forth. You just select which one applies. How much do you want for the house? Monthly payments, down payment. Ask them all these questions. Some of them sound personal, but we need the information. If they are a little weird about giving you the information and they don't want to give it to you, just let them know, hey, we need all this information so the next person can get you a price for your home. If they're just not willing to give you the information, move on and leave it blank. Is it vacant? Does it need repairs? Then you write in the list of repairs. Get as specific as you can. Ask them about the roof. Ask them about, does it need painted inside? How old is the air condition? How old is the roof? Start asking specific questions about that property and try to get as much information as you can and put it in here. How long have you owned the property? Get into the mortgage information. Fill it out as much information as they'll give you. They may not remember some of this information or have the actual balance of the first and the second. Just ask them to guess and get as close as you can. Once you get into this section here, you're going to start asking some more questions, and you have yes and no buttons. So would you sell it for what you owe? Yes or no? And some of these questions will specifically reach down to the bottom based on whether they answered yes or no. Would you consider selling the house with a leased option? If they don't understand what that is, it explains right here, and you can actually go up here as selling options. These are some things you should read anyway. You can click on each one to get more information about continuing to sell as a for sale by owner. This isn't real important for you to do. We're going to be answering these questions. If they really get into what we do and how we're going to be able to buy their home, just let them know, hey, Mike and John will be calling you. Let me get this information together, and they'll give you a call back, and they can explain a little more about that. So just put it back on us anytime you have something that you don't understand, or they ask you a question that you can't answer. Just say, hey, let me get all these questions answered, and just put it right back on us. Here's another dialogue. Just basically read through this, and my boss or partner is going to give you a call back. We'll take a look at this information, and we'll make you an offer on your home. He'll show you all the options, and you can decide which one makes the most sense for you, whether it's working with us or not. He usually has several different ways that he can sell your property. He's a nice guy, and he's not pushy. So if you like his offer, great. We can work together. If not, well, thank you for your time, and no hard feelings. Get a time specific to when they'll be available. And then you've got a few more questions to ask right here. As it says, there's a dialogue here. Read the dialogue, go through it, answer the question, go through the dialogue, get your time, go through the next dialogue, which is nice and short. Hey, okay, well, I've got a few more things I need to get from you. Beds, bath, and all the easy questions then. At the end of each section, you'll see a save progress. Go ahead and save the progress just in case. And if you think it's a lead that really sounds like, that's probably going to move forward, put a little check mark here. Once you do this for a little while, you're going to get it. If it's going to need a call back, there you go. Save the lead. Hit this button here. It's going to send it to me and John. And as soon as you fill all this out and you save your progress, go ahead and go back. And you're back on the lead detail. That time that you set that appointment, go into this calendar and schedule a call. There you go. You got your team members, John and Mike, right here. You're going to set up the date, and you're going to set up the time. It's that simple. And then just save it. You can put some notes in here specific to what's going on, but this is the important part. Just make sure it's scheduled so then we get a message and we know what's going on. That's about it. I mean, all this other stuff we can work on later, changing, whether it's a good lead or not. We'll work on that stuff later. Right now, we just need to get you calling. When you get in here to the actual leads, what we want you to do before you make the phone call is each page is separated here. I think there's about 10 leads in here per page. Go through each one and read them. I would consider selling it with owner financing possible. You're going to respond back. We have a little frequently asked question Word document that we put together. You're going to send a text first. The reason we do that is they're not going to recognize the phone number, so most people don't answer unless they recognize the phone number. So what you're going to do is you're going to send them a quick text, and you're going to basically say, hey, I'm going to give you a call this afternoon, and let's talk about your property. I've already got the wording in the Word document. You're going to copy that, and you're going to go through and hit each one of these and let them know. I am sorry, no lease options available. Well, that's not a lead for you. You're going to skip past that one. You will have to apply. That's a realtor. You're going to skip past that one. Your name. When you reply to this one, write your name and then copy and paste, hey, I'm going to give you a call. Real simple, easy response. You don't have to answer anything complicated. Just let them know who you are. Yes, I'm available. Please call me. Okay, great. Then send the time that you're going to call. I'm going to call this afternoon. Are you available? See how they respond. Here's the next one. No, I'm sorry. Okay, leave this one alone. This isn't a positive response. You don't have to do anything with that one. Hi, yes, the owner would be interested. That means it's an agent. I would probably skip this one because if they're not the person we're talking to, I don't want you talking to them. Put a note in here for us, please, that, hey, I think this is an agent. I skipped this one. Any of them that aren't obvious, like, no, I'm sorry, but you decide to skip because you got a funny feeling about it, just put a note in there and explain it to us so that we know that we'll go ahead and call that one. I have financing available. Well, great. That's exactly what we're looking for. So you're going to send a message. Great. Can I call you this afternoon? And stop on this page. You can actually go through, click the ones that we were just talking about, and send a text message blast. Or like we were just doing, we were doing specific ones, so you're responding. Okay, great. Then you're going to do each one of those individuals. Send those messages out, and then start right back from the beginning and start making phone calls. These calls can take 15 to 20 minutes, so by you telling them you'll call them this afternoon, that kind of protects you there. You've got that time frame. Once you finish those up, you go to page 2, you go to page 3, you follow up. If you start in the morning, you might be in the afternoon by the time you get to page 2 or page 3, so you don't want to tell them you're going to call them in the morning. So start your morning, do your calls. You get to page 2, you might be sending a text message. I'm going to give you a call this afternoon. Is that okay? And keep moving forward. But make sure you text them. If you get a voicemail, what I want you to do is call them immediately back. So a lot of times people will answer if you call immediately back. They don't think it's a solicitation. If you call them back and you get their voicemail again, leave a note and say, I left a voicemail. And I would probably go ahead and schedule yourself a call back or write a note about that lead if you want to do it by notes and go back at the end of the day and call those people back again. If you get their voicemail again, shoot them a text and say, hey, I left you a voicemail about your home that you have on Craigslist. We would be interested in it. Please, what is a good time that I may call you back? Don't have them call you. Send them a text message asking them when it's a good time for you to call them back. The reason for that is you don't want them calling the system while you're on the phone because then they're just going to get a voicemail. So we don't want to do that. So then you can call them back. So make sure that you do everything you can to convince them to give you a time to call them back. That's pretty much it. I'm sure there's going to be a few more questions and there's some things that may come up and we'll address those live as we need to. But that's pretty much the whole system of what you're going to be working with. So if you have any other questions, we'll move forward from there, but that's pretty much it. So just get calling them and get moving forward, and if we run into any obstacles, we'll deal with them then. Thanks.